Hey everyone, it's Christian here from the Calcio Bros. It has definitely been a while since I've done one of these, but that is to be said with Serie A being stopped over these past few months. I hope everyone is doing well, being safe, practicing social distancing, everyone's staying healthy, and just maintaining all these practices in order to keep the cases of COVID-19 down. And now that it's starting to everything's been getting better in Italy, and they decided to return with Calcio again with empty stadiums, as we did see with Germany, the one starting it all. They had some stuff set in motion as well. Separated bench, again, no fans, everyone but the coach wearing not wearing masks, players of course, because it's not like you can really play with a mask on. That would just be really bad. Anyways, they again continue to make practice, and especially with the long delay in the season, or the long break in between, they decided to do 5 subs, which was probably much better, anyways, to just help players continue to stay in shape, rest players when they continue to look tired. So they've taken some measures accordingly, and I know with Italy, they have said it if there is one player who has tested positive in the case, they're going to be the only ones in quarantine. I'm not sure if they keep changing because sometimes they keep changing it, so I can't always stay updated with everything. Originally, I think they said the player would only be in self isolation for about 4 to 5 days, something like that. But at the same time, that shouldn't be good enough. So either way, they said the player who tested positive will be the only one who will be isolating rather than the whole squad, as again they want to get these games going accordingly, right? And I know in Italy there was quite a few cases that had happened. The first one was Rugani. Dybala had it, I think, twice or once or something, but he did have multiple tests that did come around negative before finally testing positive. You had Paolo Maldini as well as his son Daniel Maldini who caught it. I think like 4 or 5 Sampdoria players as well. So there was quite a few cases, and as we know, Italy did have one of the highest amount of cases per day in the country. So it was bound to happen to some of the players, but as long as they're all safe now, that's all that matters. And now I know we're trying to get here to talk about Calcio, and that's where I'm going to get to. But again, just stating some of the stuff that they have taken before everyone came back, and that way they're trying to ensure no one contracts the virus once again. So we did have Calcio come back last week, and it started with the return legs of the Coppa Italia semifinal. And it started off with Juve Milan, which was already full of drama as it was. So the first leg finished 1-1. Rebic opened the scoring with Ronaldo scoring a very late and dubious penalty near the end, but either way, Juve went into the Allianz Stadium with the advantage as they had the away goal. Now, even from the front foot here, Juve looked more dominant, and they almost had the chance to go on top as they were given a penalty here, which Ronaldo missed, and not even 10 seconds later, the ball gets cleared, and Rebic, I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe he was in quarantine for too long. I don't know. Decide to kung fu kick, I think it was Danilo, and gets himself sent off. Milan, who were already missing Theo Hernandez, Samu Castillejo, and Zlatan Ibrahimovic, were already down a lot of key players, and Rebic, being the main focal point up front, gets a red card. And for about 70 minutes, Milan would have to play a man down. Now, surprisingly, they played well. They played really great defensively, locked down the Juventus forward. Even Ronaldo, he had a difficult time during that game, and I'll get to even the final as well. But they played a solid defensive game. Yes, they were completely nowhere near the other side of the box, but they did grow in the game. They did have a couple chances, but it's hard when you don't have a focal point up front. and Bonaventura was acting as that striker before Rafael Leao came on, but Milan did everything they could to make sure Juve didn't score, and I know they did want to try getting that one goal, because a 1-1 would have brought them to penalties, and that's something they did change as well to make sure players aren't even more fatigued, is that they made the Coppa Italia semifinals and final go straight to penalties after regular time. So Milan would have just hoped to get a goal, because even if it finished 1-1, they would have gone again to penalties. So they would have made it difficult for Juve. Juve just wanted to get a goal because they know if one goal against a 10-man Juve definitely would have made it difficult for Milan to come back and get a goal themselves. But like I said, Milan defended well. Donnarumma made saves when he had to. The Romagnoli and Kier had a solid partnership at the back. They did everything they could to keep the ball away from their nets. And they played great. And it's one of the better games we did see from Pioli's Milan side. But unfortunately, the game, it couldn't do them any good. Game finished 0-0, and with that, Juventus moved on to the next round. Now going on to the other game, which was on the Saturday, which was Napoli-Inter. Napoli had won the game at the San Siro, 1-0, thanks to a Fabian Ruiz goal. So they had to make sure and hold on. But you can tell right from the get-go, Inter too were trying to get themselves back in the game, and they did it quite early as Eriksson somehow fooled Ospina on the corner where Eriksson scored directly from the corner and it nutmegged Ospina. I don't really know what Ospina was doing there, but completely fooled him, went in from the corner, and Inter were right back in the tie. And honestly, after that, Ospina played well. He made great saves, keeping Inter at bay, keep them only at the one goal. But the one save where he saved it, launched it quick to Insigne, and Insigne gave it to Mertens, where he tucked it away and became Napoli's all-time leading goal scorer, passing Diego Maradona. So congrats to Dries Mertens on that accolade as well. And Napoli, even they took that 1-1 and just kept it going, but Inter needed another goal. If the game had finished 2-1 for Inter, the Nerazzurri would have definitely gone on to advance to the finals, but that was not so. Like I said, Ospina kept denying Inter at every chance they got. Some of the Inter players still looked tired as they were, but it's hard. Some players came right from the get-go looking like their former selves. Others seems like they still needed some more time to readjust themselves after being on break for so long. So we'll see how they do once the season gets back up and running. So that means we had a Napoli Juventus final. Gattuso given another chance here, because again I believe he was in the Coppa Italia finals with Milan, but that didn't come out so good. And then Sarri, who looked to win his first major title in Italy. I know everyone says he has no title, not won any titles in Italy, but he hit back talking about when he was with the lower leagues, winning smaller titles. So that's why I said major title in Italy. But again, that was not meant to be, as Napoli ended up taking it from Juve. It is also Ronaldo's second consecutive final that he has lost, first time in his career. And Napoli seemed like they wanted it more. And Ronaldo himself, just like the game against Milan, did not look like the usual Cristiano Ronaldo that we have been used to in Serie A. His dribbling didn't seem the best. He kept taking selfish opportunities. It just wasn't him. His touch was horrible. Not the Ronaldo we're used to, and it seemed like that maybe he just needed more time to get things going. Who knows? But either way, game finished 0-0, so that meant we would see a penalty shootout. Napoli wins it 4-2 on penalties. Napoli scoring all four of their shots. Insigne, Politano, Maximovic, and then Milik with the fourth and final shot for the Partenopei. while Juve had their first two penalties missed. Dybala has his saved by Meret, and Danilo, who missed the net completely on his shot, and then Bonucci and Ramsey tucked away their penalty. And the reason too, Meret was playing supposedly because Ospina was suspended for the final. So there was also a lot of doubts with that one as well, because considering the way we've seen Ospina in the recent games, and Meret sometimes can be a bit shaky, he helped Napoli in this time, kept them together, and then um, they were able to win it, and this is actually Gattuso's first title as a coach, so congrats to him. Manolas actually made a joke too when he posted on Instagram 6 years in Italy, and he finally wins his first trophy as well. So he was close a couple times with Roma, but no success over there. So congrats to him. A lot of the players deserve it, and this is their also Napoli's first major title since 2014. So they have been missing some type of silverware. They've usually just won either a Super Coppa or a Coppa Italia in recent memory, because it has been a while since they have won the Scudetto, of course. So at least it's good for them to win something. Gattuso, like I said, wins his first major title as a coach, so congrats to him. And it was, I think it felt even more great for him because he won it for his sister, who just recently passed away. Even when they were taking the moment of silence for all the protesting that's going on in the world, you could tell he was very emotional. Well, not protesting, but especially protesting plus all the victims who passed away because of COVID-19 as well. Um, Sorry, there's just, especially with so much going on, it's hard to keep all these thoughts together. So, anyways, you could tell in that moment he was very emotional, and he did it everything for his sister. Congrats to Gennaro Gattuso on that. And Sadi again has to wait for a piece of silverware or major title here in Italy. He does have the Champions League as well. He and the Serie A title, but with Champions League, Juve are down 1-0 on aggregate to Lyon, so they have the second leg to play. So they really have to come out on top there and have to really compete against a strong Lazio side who has no other competitions, just Serie A to worry about. So, but again, it also does. At this point, it really doesn't matter because all the Champions League games are going to be set at a later date, so they all have Serie A just to worry about anyways. But I feel now Juve could have a better chance here just because they've played an extra two games ahead of Lazio. But who knows? Maybe Lazio will look like they're ready to go right from where they left off from before the break happened. I know it's very close up front with only um, a few. Excuse me, with only 1 point separating the two, so it's not like it's that much of a difference. So we'll have to see how these two teams go about it once they get back into Serie A action. And I know in recent reports, because of the way things have left out, Sadi already risks being sacked at the end of the season if he can't win anything this year. So there's already trouble there. And I know, honestly, even from my opinion, I'm not even a Juve fan. I never liked the way Saudi's Juve play. They just don't play well. I Yes, they can win games, but I just don't see them being typical Juve. It's really weird. I just don't see them playing great. Maybe that's just me, but I even felt like Saudi wasn't a good choice for Juve to begin with, anyways. But what can you do when it's like that already? And we'll see what happens at the end of the season. So that has been the Coppa Italia recap, all three games that have happened. Congrats once again to Napoli for winning it. Now that means too, Serie A is back, but before all the games get started, there are a few games that need to be played as uh, some teams weren't able to play these because there was a delay on the weekend because of some COVID cases were very strong in those regions, so they didn't want to play any games there and risk people getting exposed. So before we get back to all the games in Serie A. We need to recuperate these 4 games. Uh, so we have games on 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday, and again, especially to let you guys know, there are going to be time changes with the games because we are in June. It is much hotter in Italy, so they want to play later at night to make sure it's a lot cooler for a lot of these players, so they don't play like under the heat as much. So the games are again a little bit later, and especially that they're trying to recuperate a lot of these games. There will be games almost every day, so most of the time I don't even know if I can cover them just because with work once again. But I will try updating you guys the best I can when there is a game on, but it'll most likely be on weekends as well. I'm not even sure when I'll be able to do videos as well because the way it works out, games every day, work, whatever. But anyways, let's just get back to the point of Serie A and talking about the games that are this weekend. So the 2 games we have on the Saturday, so we have Torino Parma at 1:30 and Verona Cagliari at 3:45. So again, like I said, with the time changes in Italy, that means they're later on 7:30 there and 9:45 instead of the usual 12 o'clock, or yeah, 12 o'clock and 2:45 games. So just a bit of an hour difference, but still an hour can make a whole much of a difference, especially considering the temperature there in Italy. All these teams fight. I know if Parma, they would be fighting for a chance to get into the Europa League spot as they sit just behind Verona and Milan. If they manage to win, they can really pass Milan there and stay in that final Europa League spot. While Torino have had a difficult season this year and just want to get back on a positive start. Verona Cagliari as well, same thing. If Verona wins, they pass Milan as well. So Milan would be looking to cheer for Torino and Cagliari, hoping that the teams under them don't get a win and they'll be able to take hold of their own Europa League spot. But Verona have looked good and they have looked like very surprising this season, so they will hope to continue their good form and searching maybe even for European qualification. On Sunday, June 21st, we have Atalanta Sassuolo, and again, Atalanta were looking very good before the season started. If they win, they go um, like they're only 6 points behind Inter. So again, it does depend on how Inter does. But if Inter loses and Atalanta win, they'll only be 3 points behind them. But Atalanta want to get the win because then they can be 6 points ahead of Roma, who sit fifth. So Atalanta still want to secure that fourth and final Champions League spot, especially with Roma just creeping up behind them. So they want to do everything they can, especially against the Sassuolo, who at the same time have been doing okay. They've been very steady. They just want to get. Well, I guess everyone here just wants to get off to a positive start after being off for about 3.5 months here. So it's hard to judge right now because we haven't seen so much action and consistency in recent time to say who will win. I know it all depends on how they did before going into the break, but honestly, it's hard to remember how these teams played all those months ago without since we haven't been able to watch Calcio for so long. And highlights don't do it the same, you know? They only give you the shots, the moments, and all that. It doesn't show you the whole game, how they play, how they pass, you know? I could just be saying stuff, but that's just, the way I feel. It's the way I see it. You want to watch a full game to get a better understanding of how the team plays because highlights are only key moments, key snippets of everything that's happened. So it doesn't show the full story of the game. But even with Atalanta here, they are the highest scoring team in Italy, and they want to continue showing how strong they can be up front. So they want to continue chasing that Champions League spot and perhaps throw Inter off guard a bit, throw them off their game. And Inter, who has to recuperate against Sampdoria, and Sampdoria looking they just want to stay safe. That's all they want to do, and they're only a point from the bottom, and not where they thought they would see themselves there on the bottom, but They have their work cut out for them, and a positive result against Inter would be great. But again, Inter, who have also that game against Napoli, and has like their fitness levels up a bit, but they would have to continue the same way. Who knows? Well, I guess we'll have to see and find out. So those are the four games that have to be recuperated before they play all the games once again. So, like I said, there's almost going to be games every day with sometimes just like a day break in between to between each match day. So, again, I probably won't be able to update all the games that are happening like during the week with work or whatever. Most time it'll be just like the Friday entering the weekend. So if there's any games there, I can definitely update you guys. But just also stay updated on Twitter. I will update any news, retweet, whatever. Just update you on whatever I see as well that you guys haven't seen as well. So be sure to see check us out there, and I'll try to figure out when to do videos because I even though a lot of these times I just ramble, but I just want to talk and talk about what I see in these games, right? So the matches that are uh, have to be recuperated are from match day 25. Match day 26 was the last round that was played before the COVID-19 break stopped the league. So that means once those games are done, we will go straight off and restart with round 27. And there's going to be at least almost 3 games each day, 3, 4 games each day, give or take. So June 22nd, there are 3 games. Fiorentina Brescia at 1:30, Lecce Milan also at 1:30, and then Bologna Juventus at 3:45. June 23rd, we have Spal Cagliari and Verona Napoli at 1:30. Then at 3:45, Genoa Parma. Also 2 games there at 3:45. There's too much of a list here. The other game at 3:45 is Torino Udinese as well. Then on the 24th, we have Inter Sassuolo at 1:30, and then at 3:45, 2 games: Roma Sampdoria and Atalanta Lazio. Definitely some big games there. Biggest one I see is Atalanta Lazio, so that's going to be a big game there because it also, especially that Juve is playing beforehand, it gives Lazio extra pressure to maintain ground. But especially that Lazio have to come back against a strong opponent like Atalanta, and Atalanta will be able to play their one game already just to get their feet going. That's gonna be very tough. But with Juve, Bologna has been very tricky. They've been playing well under Mihailovic, so they do have to watch out. And with Ronaldo, who's been looking out of form, he really needs a game to bounce back in. And the game against Bologna could be just it, or it could be the one after. Who knows? But anyways, that's what they're gonna need, and we'll see how they can do. Because again, like I said, Atalanta are a very tough opponent. Lazio want to maintain ground on Juve. They need a win. Any slip up, it could be done for Lazio. So no matter what, Lazio need a win in this game, and they would better hope Juventus slips up. So those are all the games that are happening in this next week, starting on Saturday. Lots of tough games, and again, it's hard to say how each team will do. I can only talk for the ones that have just been playing recently, and that doesn't leave a lot of room for many teams, anyways, because it's only been 4 teams with 2 of them playing twice, right? So I feel this first week is to gauge how a lot of these players will get back into full fitness. I know some players have already been injured during the training sessions. Like I heard just recently this morning, Sensi picked up his 5th injury for Inter. So is it even worth buying him if he consistently gets injured? I don't know. But anyways, it's a good way to see how these teams can shape up going forward and being able to continue their form that they carried in before the break, right? So, anyways, let me know which games you guys are most looking forward to. Do you think a lot of these teams will be able to carry into their form, like carry their form from before the break into the new season maybe, if you want to call it that. What you guys think of the Coppa Italia? Do you think it was a surprise you Napoli went? Did they deserve it? Do you think another team should have made it in the finals? Let me know your thoughts on that as well, and let me know what you guys think of the upcoming matches. Again, with the 4 matches from match day 25, and then the rest of the games from match day 27. I'm just happy Calcio's back. I just like to talk about it and voice my opinions on stuff, But I want to get back to like watching it, so you get to appreciate it more and have more to discuss. So I do again will hope to have more for you guys. Hopefully, Anyways, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you already haven't. Be sure to watch out for any new videos I'll be able to post. Follow us on Twitter, Calcio_bros, and we'll hope to hear from you guys soon. Ciao.